Hello, everyone, and welcome to another event under the University Talent Program, the Jacobs Talent Initiative. Thank you for joining us for today's event put on in partnership with GoSite. My name is emma.hareas, and I am the Jacobs Talent Director for Tech San Diego. Before we jump in, I'd like to say a couple things about Tech San Diego, the Jacobs Talent Initiative, and today's event. Tech San Diego is a nonprofit that works with small to mid-sized companies in the San Diego region. My role is to work with student organizations at local universities to plan events such as this one and inform students of opportunities in our local tech ecosystem, such as internships or job postings. We offer several resources on our website, such as a comprehensive regional tech directory, which indicates who is hiring in the region, monthly talent pulse reports, and new podcast episodes every month on our podcast, the Talking Tech Podcast, otherwise known as the T3 Podcast. Switching gears, I'd like to highlight the Jacobs Talent Initiative. The Jacobs Talent Initiative is a program which partners with local universities and employers to improve the talent pipeline in San Diego, which includes talent access to internships, research and collaborations, while also building tools to help companies identify qualified workers. The goal of the partnership between JTI and local universities is to increase the number of students who select the region as their career destination. JTI offers a number of resources to students, university faculty, HR, and talent acquisition professionals, such as our monthly newsletter, the JTI Campus Connection. Each month, JTI highlights upcoming events, podcast episodes, job postings, and other resources. I encourage you all to check out the resources on our site located at techsandiego.org and make sure you are subscribed to our newsletter so you do not miss out on important information. Lastly, if you have any ideas for events or topics you would like featured on our podcast, please reach out to me at emma.hareas@techsd.org. For a few notes about today's event, I've worked closely with members of the GoSite team to facilitate an interactive environment which consists of a company presentation followed by a Q&A. Now, I'd like to introduce the guest joining us this evening from GoSite and provide some background on the company. GoSite is a company which specializes in creating an all-in-one platform to supercharge your business. GoSite's mission is to level the playing field for local community-centric businesses everywhere and promote such businesses to succeed and grow even more. Headquartered in beautiful and sunny San Diego, GoSite has over 350 employees working to make a difference in their clients' lives and the community. Representing GoSite, I am very pleased and honored to introduce the following people. Victoria Ashton, who's Vice President of People Operations, Sherrard, University Recruiter, and Arman Ashrafian, Software Engineer. Please join me in welcoming the GoSite team. So thank you for being here and taking time to share GoSite's initiatives. I'd like you to briefly introduce yourselves and tell me your favorite spot to hang out or relax in San Diego. Victoria, we can start with you.
Thank you, Emma. So excited to be here today. I, as you mentioned, am the Vice President of People Operations at GoSite, and I've had the honor and opportunity to lead this team for the last 4.5 years as we've expanded our footprint in San Diego and beyond. We're so excited to be helping small businesses and making it possible for them to save time and money and grow their business, driving forward to do what they do best. My favorite place to visit in San Diego to relax and enjoy the sunshine would have to be Ironside Fish and Oyster in Little Italy. It is one of my favorite spots. I had the chance to be there on opening day a few years ago, and it still is one of my favorite places to visit.
Hey, awesome. That sounds super cool. I've never been there. I'll have to check it out. So, Kara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So, hi, I'm Sherrard, University Recruiter at GoSite. I joined GoSite last summer, actually as a recruiting coordinator, and then transitioned into the University Recruiter last winter and absolutely fell in love with it. Love partnering with universities and bringing in top talent into our internship programs to just build our talent pool as our company grows. My favorite place to be in San Diego has to be anywhere on Coronado Island. Always visited there as a child with my family and have loved any excuse to go back and just walk along the beach and visit the little shops and restaurants.
Awesome. Yeah, I love Coronado I mean, they're the cutest shops, and I love the beaches there. I mean, the Hotel Del is awesome. There's so many cool places. Thank you. All right, Arman.
Hey everyone, my name is Arman. I'm a software engineer here at GoSite, and my favorite place in San Diego to visit and relax would probably be Gliderport. It's like a cool place to go watch the sunset right by like UCSD. So I have good memories there.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you for introducing yourselves. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to welcome the team to give their presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Emma. So as we mentioned, my team here today from GoSite, we're here to give you a bit of a company overview and share with you what it would be like if you were to join the GoSite team. So very excited to partner with the Jacobs Talent Initiative and bring this presentation to you today. So as Emma introduced, the team members here with you today, myself, Akira, and Arman, to really bring a comprehensive view of GoSite and the various opportunities that you would have to engage with us and partner with us. So a little bit about our mission. GoSite creates simplified technology for the small businesses that drive our economy. Our software empowers them to have everything they need in one place to connect with customers in this digital era. Our cloud-based suite of mobile and web tools transforms the way customers run their business on the go and everywhere. So what does that mean? Put quite simply, the small businesses that are our parents, our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, and everyone in between, the landscapers, the mechanics, the auto shops, the salons, the spas, the restaurants. Any small business local to their community and serving their community, that is our customer. And those are the businesses that GoSite seeks to empower and help grow. We do that with software that is an all-in-one place of everything they need on the back end of their business. So we can help them do what they do best. What we do is we help to bring their website, review management, messaging, booking, payments, and more into all one place to make it simple so they can focus on whatever it is they do best, which is running a restaurant or a salon or fixing a car. Our leadership team, I'm so excited that we have been able to grow a phenomenal team of individuals that is just as passionate about small businesses as our founder, Alex Good. Alex Good is an entrepreneur and small business, comes from a small business family, and has always had the dream of helping small businesses connect with their customers and grow. He founded GoSite in 2013 here in sunny San Diego, and since has been on a journey to help every small business while building a great team of leaders, entrepreneurs, owners, and operators that love small businesses and love to build tools that help them grow. So a little bit more about GoSite. Our platform, as I mentioned, has all of these functions, but all in one place, which saves our customers time and money. Our customers are on the go all the time. And so being able to provide them a mobile first solution that makes it easy for them to operate their business really empowers small businesses to grow and stay relevant in the digital era. These tools make it easy for their customers to find them and their customers to communicate with them seamlessly. I don't know about you, but for myself as a consumer, when I'm looking for a new restaurant, a new salon, or a landscaper, these are the things most important to me to do business with that business. And so we help not just small businesses, but the customers of small businesses. I'm so proud to have been leading our people team here at GoSite for almost 4.5 years, where we've been able to be a people first and customer centric company. We've been so honored to win many awards for our accomplishments, and I could not have done it without our amazing team that is focused again on our customers with a huge passion for helping small businesses. I love our mission, our people love our mission, and we're here because we believe in it. And because of that, I believe that we've been able to grow not just quickly, but also in a very qualitative way, which these awards and accolades demonstrate. I would love to have anyone here check out GoSite as a company to work for, and hope that we would be able to give you the same experience as many of our employees have had throughout the years. Diversity and inclusion is a topic that I'd like to bring up today because it's top of mind, not just now, but always at GoSite. We are committed to bringing in a diverse and inclusive set of individuals that are going to change not just the world for small businesses, but also the way that tech companies do business. It's not a mystery that diversity and inclusion has not always been the case within tech startups, and I'm so proud to be part of one that has that top of mind. We have launched a DEI committee, which has been instrumental in making sure that awareness, conversations, and inclusive thought paths are present at GoSite. We encourage everything from sick leave for mental health, PTO days, to make sure we include all, inclusion model in our recruiting tool, and sponsoring and recruiting at diverse events to make sure that we're reaching everyone where they're at, and not just simply saying it's hard to reach those communities. These are just some of our culture scores and feedback from our employees specific to the engineering org, which I know many of you here today are studying and looking to build a career within. I'm so excited to say that 100% of our engineering employees feel invested in the company's goals. Transparency of our goals and our mission is important to us, just as important as it is to continue building a company where our employees are rated in the top 5% scores of happiness, approval of our CEO, and their belief in our diversity. There's no way that we could be the #1 platform to power small businesses without focusing on #1, which is our employees. Very excited at this time to hand off to our university recruiter, Kara, who can tell you more about internship opportunities and just general experiences that you'll have with our recruiting team if you so choose to look out GoSite. Thank you so much for being here today. We are hoping that you'll join our team soon.
All right. Thank you, Victoria. I am going to be using these next few slides just to introduce some of our engineering leaders, some of our interview committee for our internship program, and tell you some more details about our summer internship opportunities, and kind of wrap up with just some general information about our recruiting team so you know what to expect as you kind of go through the interview process with us, if you so choose to do so. So to kick us off, I just wanted to highlight our leadership on the engineering side, and kind of share some fun facts that, you know, we've been growing so fast. So we've actually gone from 6 engineers to a team of 26 just within the past year. And that started with Larry Zhu, VP of Engineering. He came on with us last April, and he was in an earlier slide. But here we have our engineering managers. So Huayan Ho, Kevin Chen, and Jonathan Gall. Huayan and Kevin also joined us last summer, and Jonathan just this April. So it's been really great to see the team grow and the leadership grow. And then Jonathan Gall and Andrew Chung would be a part of the interview committee if you were to interview for an internship with GoSite. So Andrew Chung also came on with us last summer from Telium, I believe, and he is a senior full stack engineer. So this is some of our leadership team with our engineering team. So what are some details about our summer internship? Well, it's one of our first ones. We've definitely had some internship opportunities in the past on engineering team, but this is the first year we're really trying to build out a program. So it's going to be launching this summer, and we're hopefully going to be bringing on interns June 1st and June 14th, our targeting start dates. So bringing them on in the summer, wrapping up an internship in mid-September before school starts, and applications are actually open up now on the Jacobs School of Engineering job portal. So you can apply there, or you can also send your resume to myself. So just kara.sherrard@GoSite. I put my email address in here a couple of times. So I'm always available if you have questions, concerns, or just want to send your resume over and have me take a look at it. But we are beginning interviews this week, which has been really exciting. It's been really great talking to some awesome talent already. So if you are interested, please, get those applications in, and we're excited to chat with you. So who is eligible for an internship opportunity with GoSite? So we're going to be having two different types of internships, which breaks down into a student internship and then one that's kind of geared more towards graduates who maybe just got out of school. So the student one is exactly as it sounds. You're obtaining your degree. We're going to bring you on in the summer months, so you don't have to work around any classes, but can still work those full-time hours, June through September. And then for our graduate internship opportunities, these are candidates who maybe are fresh out of school, maybe a little less prior experience, but they're not working around classes. They can do the full-time hours, and it's going to be more of like a 90 to 120 day trial period, more of just like a ramp time where our goal of this position is to get you to a full-time position with GoSite. So we want to set you up for success. We'll bring you in as an intern or give you kind of that 90 days to ramp up and have that opportunity to transition to a full-time role based on performance. So, and I think, for example, Arman on this call, he was an intern as well coming in and was able to transition to a full-time role. So great example of just, us trying to, set you up for success, bring you in, and really excited to see when that happens when you transition to a full-time position. And what are you going to be working on? So I don't want to spend too much time on this slide just because this is all on our job description, but the things I like to highlight is, Larry mentioned this is not going to be a project-based internship. You actually get to join a small product team and work on product features and develop customer-facing experiences. So it's going to be really fun to be able to join a team, work with other full-stack engineers at all levels, and get to be a part of something our customers are actually going to see. And then just some qualifications at the bottom. We have the JavaScript React Node listed there, but we know you're interns, you're still learning. But some things you won't see on here that I like to mention is we do really look for candidates who, show genuine curiosity and are excited to learn new things, and also humble candidates who work well in teams and individually. And then what to expect from an internship with GoSite. So like I said, you get to be a part of a small product team. You work on real world, meaningful, interesting projects. You get to, that will impact the customers and our business directly. You receive coaching, mentorship, that potential to earn a full-time position and also to build your network. So we're also going to have you partner up with other interns as you come in. So you also have that support that you can have someone to bounce ideas off of with, and you get to experience the startup life. And this slide I like to put in here. So with the growth our engineering team has seen, we just recently had our marketing team kind of do an interview with some of our engineering team members just to see what it's like to be on the engineering team. So I'm not going to read through these line by line, but I do like to point out my favorite bullet point, which is the bottom one. So any advice you'd give to someone applying for an engineering internship position or any position. The first bullet point I really like is just try to be personable. You're not just a programmer. The team is really tight knit. All of GoSite is really tight knit. We all like to work together and collaborate. So the last bullet point too, just know that it's not just a job, it really is an adventure. That is something that I believe in 100%. I don't come to work just to get a paycheck and work 9 to 5. I really do love to see the company grow and see the product evolve. And that's really what it is, just one big adventure. All right, and then just to kind of wrap up my slides here, this is just a roadmap of what you can expect if you do interview with GoSite. So these change slightly depending on different roles, but one thing I like to highlight is, and one thing I really like about our team is we have a very high touch interviewing process, meaning your recruiter is going to be there for you, or you're the recruiting coordinator every step of the way. We like to keep constant communication with you, provide feedbacks, updates, next steps, and we always try to keep you well informed so you never feel like you're lost in the shuffle. That was something I really appreciated about GoSite when I was a candidate on the other side. So we always end our calls with, here's my phone number, my email, text, call, page, beat me. Like, we always want to be available for you if you have questions, concerns, or, just need to talk. So This is just a roadmap. Just to go through it really fast, you can expect to apply to a position, have a phone screen. Usually we'll have a technical assessment with technical roles that will either be before a phone screen or after. And then you get to talk to the hiring team with some hiring managers. And then your job is really done with the interview process. Then we get together as a team, debrief, and then we'll wrap up the process with an offer to provide feedback if, we did decide to go a different direction. So, just like to highlight again that we do really love our job as the recruiters here. So we really like to build that great candidate experience along the way. And wrap it all up with just another mention of we are hiring full stack engineering interns. So if you are interested, please apply today. It's up on the UCSD job portal. And it also, if you're interested, you can send your resume directly to me. Here's my email address one more time. And, connect with GoSite on LinkedIn and connect with me on LinkedIn. And I'm excited to see you hopefully throughout the process. I will kick it over to Arman for the Q&A.
So who's asking me questions?
All right, that would be me. I can ask you some questions. So we've had some students submit some questions just wanting to learn about your roles, your responsibilities, how you landed at GoSite. So for starters, what led you to choose a job at GoSite?
So I actually have a friend named Pace who is actually in the same position that I am in. We're both software engineers on the platform team. And he started off at GoSite as a sales, as an SDR, and then made his way to being a growth engineer. And I just saw, he was an intern as a growth engineer and then a full-time role as a growth engineer while we were all still in school. And he kept on telling me about how cool GoSite was and how awesome the product was that they were building and kind of just the mission of the company. And it sounded really cool to me. And I also, at the same time, was really learning about Shopify and learning about that business model and the whole idea of helping small businesses, building tools for small business owners. And that just really excited me. And then, when I went and met some more people who worked at GoSite, the culture just seemed really exciting to me because I've never really worked at a startup. And, I think a lot of people who are into software engineering and computer science, always kind of think about how it would be like to work at a startup that's innovating and building something new. So yeah, got pretty excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, do you mind explaining more about the company culture that makes GoSite so unique?
Yeah, so I think the one thing, we kind of have this motto of just go. And, I assume every company has mottos or whatever, but it's really, really true at GoSite. The way we think about engineering is there's so much we want to build. Early in the presentation, you saw how many different tools we make, and each one of those could be its own company. So there's so much to do that it's kind of just go and build it and get an initial version of something out into the world. And then we keep on iterating on it and making it better over time. And I like that model of building things way more than the traditional waterfall method of planning everything out in advance. And then, it's planning for months and months and then finally, doing the development and then waiting a full year before you go back and iterate. And, we're really true to the agile, just move fast and bring new things to the world. So that's my favorite part of the culture.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a very innovative and fast-paced environment. So kind of brings me to my next question. The students were wondering, as a software engineer, what are some of your daily responsibilities? And it sounds like no day is the same. Or do you mind giving some examples of some tasks you've worked on or things you're responsible for? Yeah,
so I do a lot of work on our infrastructure as far as our cloud infrastructure. So yeah, not every day is definitely not the same, but for an example, for something I did today, I wrote some code that basically deploys our Docker containers for our our admin dashboard that our internal employees use, and we deployed those Docker containers on something on AWS called ECS. So now, if we get a bunch of traffic, it'll scale up and down for us automatically, and that's pretty cool because the old world was where you would have to like provision servers and make sure that you had like all these computers that could handle your traffic, and now you kind of build it in a way where AWS will take care of all that stuff for you. So that's kind of what they say when people say like serverless kind of things. And then another thing I really enjoy, which I work on a lot, is our like data analytics stuff. So I helped set up and build our data warehouse, which supports all of our analytic workflows at GoSite, which is what gives analysts and executives insight into just how the company is doing. So how we build the dashboards and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of like the big data stuff. We don't really have big data yet. We have small data, but eventually we're gonna have a lot more. So.
Yeah. Well, that sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're working on like so many different projects at once. Would you say, are there any challenges to your role to maybe like managing all these projects or within your role now?
I think the biggest challenge is probably just like the remote nature. We've obviously gotten like way more used to working remote, but with like, I bet every job is like this, but for software engineering jobs, there's always like these like little questions that you have, like somebody worked on this code and like, you could just like Slack them, but sometimes it's like you have to kind of explain a lot to like get your idea, and it'd be way easier to just like walk over to their desk and like kind of ask a question really quick. So that's like one thing, but definitely with my team, we're really, we just throw each other a Zoom link without even any preface, and they'll just hop right in, and we kind of do that now. But that's one thing that definitely was a challenge earlier, but we're getting used to it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's great that you're able to stay close to your team and really adapt to different communication styles. And soon we'll all be back in the office soon enough once the pandemic ends, which will be awesome. Yeah. So, yeah. And so would you say, were there any specific skills that were critical in your development of your professional career?
Yeah. So if I could give any recommendation to any software engineers like earlier in their career, just like I am, I would say it's learn as much as you can about like cloud technologies, and it doesn't have to be AWS. AWS is definitely the most used in the industry, but just general networking and like distributed systems concepts, and because really like kind of everybody learns like how to code, and everybody learns like how to use React, and everybody learns like how to use Node, and those stuff like everybody kind of knows. It's like expected that everybody knows that. But what I've learned that is very actually rare for a lot of engineers is people don't actually know that much about how code is actually deployed and runs in the cloud, and how networking works, and how to set up a database, how to set up a server. Like, don't just focus on how to build the website or how to like write the code and all the little intricacies of how JavaScript works. Like, that stuff's very important, but it's kind of expected that everybody knows that. What will set you apart, and what I think set me apart, and why I was able to transition into a full-time role from an intern, is that I had all this like AWS and cloud knowledge, because that's just like what I'm naturally interested in. And I had a lot of experience from it from my previous internship. And I realized quickly that when Larry knew that I knew this kind of stuff, he immediately was like gave me a full-time offer. So I think those skills for sure are definitely, I would say, the most sought after, and will get you like the highest paying jobs for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that insight. I know the students will definitely appreciate that. And to build upon those skills, were there any courses that you took or anything that you were involved with at school, whether that was a student organization or a special club that helped you really refine those skills?
Yeah, so I think it all starts off with obviously like building web apps and like web stuff just in your free time. Like that's what kind of like at least like gave me even a basic understanding of like how do you set up a Express server, a Flask server, and like run it, and just build and deploy a website. I would say is like step one. And then if there's any like UCSD students, some of my like favorite courses at UCSD for this kind of stuff was I would definitely take CSE 124, which is from Professor Porter, and that's like a distributed systems class. He's like he gets funded by Google and Microsoft and stuff to like do cloud research, so he's just an OG at that. And then the class is awesome at teaching you like distributed systems ideas. And then I would say maybe take 123 as well. That's like way more low level and it's like super hardcore. You build routers and C. That might be like too low level, but it's cool just like learning like that networking stuff because there's a lot of like problems you run into in the real world that like having some low level networking knowledge is actually very useful and just being comfortable with like those ideas. But yeah, I would say those are my two favorite classes for those kind of for that kind of stuff. And then I would just like stay up to date, like find some either blogs from people or like I follow a lot of like cloud people on Twitter or like read Hacker News for like kind of the new stuff because the cloud technologies is like the fastest moving technology thing in the world right now. I think like the stuff is changing so fast that you kind of have to be like up to date with what is the new thing, especially something like GoSite where we're a lot of the decisions we're making now on what technology we use is going to be set in stone and it's going to be what we're using like 5 years from now. So we have to like be very up to date on what's like the newest thing to use, what's the best thing to use, what are the trade-offs, what are other companies using, so we don't really like make any stupid decisions and use some technology that will quickly be outdated because this stuff just moves so fast. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for your advice. And I know you briefly touched on the growth of cloud technology and how much it'll continue to grow over time. So what trends in your company's field do you see developing over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so one thing I think is really interesting is, so I said earlier, I helped set up the data warehouse for GoSite. And so we chose to use, or I guess like I chose to use Snowflake. I looked at a bunch of different ones. I looked at BigQuery, Redshift. So BigQuery is from Google, Redshift is Amazon, and then Snowflake is actually like its own company, and they actually IPO'd recently. And I would say there's this like kind of this trend happening where before you used to you have all these different data sources and you want them to go into one database so analysts can like look at them and basically get a full view of and like tie different data sources together, right? So like your financial data with like your product usage data to see like how much money are we making off of these users who like have this product and all that kind of stuff. You can get creative. But one thing I'm noticing is that the old way to do this was that you would transform the data as it's going into the warehouse. So then once it's in the warehouse, it's kind of set and it's like in a set schema. And now what's happening is that you kind of just have all these sources just put their raw data into the warehouse because like storage is so much cheaper and these data warehouses are just like so much better at spinning up and scaling out like computation that now you just kind of put all this raw data into the warehouse or into the data lake, like whatever, if you're like using Spark or whatever you want to call it. And then all of the transformations then actually happen inside of the warehouse. So there's almost like this new job that is being created that I don't know what people really call it, but I think it should be called like an analytics engineer, which is you're basically like looking at a large amount of data and a bunch of different data sources and writing code. And the biggest tool to use this to do this kind of workflow is called DBT, which is like data build tool. And so if anybody's into like this data science kind of stuff, I would definitely look at DBT. That's like one thing that I want to learn, and I would love for GoSite to hire somebody who knows a lot about this, but it's a pretty new tool. But yeah, so basically now all of this transformation is happening in the warehouse, and there's like this whole new workflow and there's all these new tools that are being created to allow for this to happen. And like this is going to be a super fast moving, like this is going to change a lot. I mean, just even like if I was to have the task of setting up the data warehouse for GoSite and it was just like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, like I would use a completely different workflow, completely different tech stack, completely different warehouse. So yeah, all this stuff like moves very fast.
It's awesome. Well, I appreciate your insight and what your projections for what will be the industry and how it will continue to evolve. So you've given some great insight on different skills and courses and recommendations. Do you have any last advice that you'd like to offer to engineering students as they enter the workforce and continue their careers?
I would say find or like try to find somebody who shares your interests in this kind of stuff, and it doesn't have to be like in real life. Like there's so many online forums where you can meet people who are very interested in these kind of things, but finding like a community of people who also enjoy building software, I think really improves your skills. Like you can teach them things, you get better when you teach people stuff, and then they can teach you things. And yeah, I think that's like a good tip.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much for all of your answers. They were awesome. I know the students will be very excited to hear what you have to say. And with that, we're going to transition to Victoria for some questions that we have for her. So thank you, Arman. All right, so for Victoria, to begin, what differentiates GoSite from other technology companies around the country?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think to dovetail a bit off of what Arman shared, with technology and with a lot of things related to the startup and technology world, timing is everything. And I would say that our founder's vision and the roadmap that he started GoSite on about 8 years ago positioned us for the perfect timing that we could have in the SMB market as a tech company. And so our solutions, the tools that we're giving to small businesses really are empowering them to adapt to the world that we now live in and the digital demands. And with COVID, of course, nobody could have predicted that exact global pandemic and the way that it played out. But we became only ever more relevant with the introduction of COVID to the world in helping small businesses whose physical doors had to be closed. We were able to give them a way to keep their virtual doors open. And so I think timing is an incredible differentiating factor about GoSite. I think from a people, culture, and just company overview standpoint, I would say the open-mindedness and entrepreneurial just fundamentals that are at GoSite really allow for anyone at any stage of life, at any career point, to come into GoSite and find meaning and to find community and to find passion, because small businesses, as I mentioned, it's our moms and dads, it's our neighbors, it's us, it's our family, our friends. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy, and they're never going to go away, and they're what powers our local communities. And so I think that messaging, that mission, and the values that we embrace really can relate to anyone, anywhere. And so I'm just really excited about the way that that's driven a diverse and inclusive community at GoSite.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, I've been noticing a theme of like diversity, inclusion, and also just a strong sense of community at GoSite. Would you say there are any specific benefits to working at GoSite, such as the company culture?
Absolutely. I think the points that Arman made were really hitting home for me. And I've, again, been part of GoSite for so long, but it's always great to hear from others in the company what inspires them. And something that he noted about the individual who brought him into GoSite, Pace Hartman, who I had the opportunity to recruit myself, and so I love seeing the way that that gift continues to give, is that potential for growth, that potential for movement, and that potential for you to develop yourself. I think that sometimes the thought is you have to climb a corporate ladder according to an exact defined plan in order for your career to be developing. And I think what GoSite has really made possible is for you to take control of your destiny or your career, your development, and give you the opportunities to have movement and exposure across so many different aspects of business. And so, for example, I have an individual on my team, even Arman mentioned that Pace started as a sales intern. I have a recruiting coordinator on my team who also started as a sales intern and is a rising star as a recruiter and people ops member. And so I just love the way that GoSite allows those to really get a foot in the door and then pursue your passion and pursue something that maybe you never thought you would even be good at, but GoSite gives you that exposure to do so. And really at the end of the day, it's not about a exact defined black and white career path. It's really about how do we take the collective success, the collective skills, and the collective value that everyone brings to achieve our goal as a company. And that might look different on any given day. It's really about being adaptable and just bringing your best forward every day.
That's awesome. It sounds like all of your employees really have the opportunity to flourish and grow there, which is just so amazing to hear. So in terms of that, what advice do you have for graduating students entering the workforce?
Yeah, definitely. I think that right now is a really interesting time in the workforce and in our economy and in the way that things are shifting. One thing that I would really encourage is to make sure that you're really diving deep into the company, into their values, into their leadership team, and making sure that the shiny object of unlimited PTO or remote work and, all the perks, I think those are absolutely 100% important and critical to the total package. But I would really encourage you to make sure that you are joining something you believe in and something you have passion in. GoSite is no different from any other startup or company. It goes through growth pains. There are times where you are, running in a million different directions. You're being asked to do something that you didn't expect. There's never a dull moment. It's mostly, I promise, fun. But those hard business moments, no one is immune to them. And so when you have that passion, when you have that belief in what you're doing, you're going to find yourself much more fulfilled and able to withstand the storms that all businesses go through and be able to stay part of a community for a long time. And so really making sure that you do your due diligence and make sure that it resonates with you as a person and not just as a job. With that said, I will say I completely understand the need to pay bills, and sometimes you just need a job. And so that's why I will, again, just really promote the internship opportunity at GoSite, because it gives you the ability to vet that before committing fully. And sometimes if you have the opportunity to intern with any company, but in this particular situation, GoSite, and you see that it's not the best fit, you've learned something and you've gained an invaluable experience to know what you don't want, which is important as a student, just as much as figuring out as what you do want. So those could just be some key areas I would highlight as advice.
Very awesome. Thank you. I mean, I really appreciate your insight. And one last question for you. Do you have a favorite memory of working at GoSite, or a favorite team experience you had with one of your coworkers?
Oh, Emma, that one is difficult. Oh man, I think I think one of the most exciting moments was, and this maybe seems small, but I think it was just, it's something that stands out to me. We started as a company out of Alex's apartment. So literally kitchen, living room, bedroom situation. And as we grew incrementally, had opportunity to have an office space that had no windows and was basically a closet, to another next upgrade that was, kind of the next landing spot. But when we really hit the moment of this is working, this is happening, we're growing, and we're going to have so many people on this team, we had the opportunity to move upstairs to the top floor of our building in April of 2019 and take over the entire floor. And we were able to design it ourselves. I was able to pick out the blue couch that you see in our presentations and the Moss logo and the flooring, and really had an opportunity to build something yet again from scratch. And that's just sort of an example in my mind of the ability given to you when you come to GoSite to do something you've never done before. I never moved a company from 5,000 square feet into 20,000 square feet. I've never grown a company from 5 people to 300 plus people, but GoSite gives you that opportunity. And so I think that really stands out in my mind as just a highlight of what makes GoSite so great.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I mean, it's so cool to hear the progression and the evolution of GoSite, and it's awesome to have you in San Diego, a part of our tech ecosystem, and now hiring talent in the area. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yep, and to transition gears a little bit, I'd like to invite Kara on just to ask some questions from the university recruiting perspective and also to learn more about the internship program. Hello.
Right. Hi.
So I have a few questions from students that I'd love to get your opinion on. So what are some of the challenges to identifying and hiring high-performing university talent?
Yeah, that is a great question. I think something I've seen as a university recruiter is just, we get so much interest in GoSite since we are such an exciting startup that, it is a lot of applications we're reviewing. And so really standing out is very important when you only get like an application review or a phone screen. So I think that's definitely a challenge, but I always like to say, and it kind of goes along with the deck that we just presented and the bullet point, is just being personable and, being able to open up as much as possible and really show us who you truly are, because it is really tough right now. It's a very competitive, and it's really great though being able to talk to students and kind of help them find an internship. And it's so great to see when they get an internship and then move into a full-time role. So it really does pay off.
That's awesome. So it's definitely a competitive market. And with that, do you have any tips on how to stand out? I know you mentioned some behavioral attributes of being a go-getter, being enthusiastic. Do you mind elaborating more on that?
Yeah, definitely. So for us, specifically when we're phone screening and talking to candidates, it's really comes down to our core values, which are just go and be a good person. So that's where that being humble comes into play, because we really do cherish that as we bring on people and build our team. And then the just go mentality, that's kind of something Arman brought up too. It's just, no job is too small. Just being able to prove over a quick phone call or in the interview that you really will be the type of person that's kind of scrappy and will jump in wherever necessary, because that's the startup life. Like, we are moving so fast, things are changing so quickly. So give us examples of maybe times that you've done that, because those are the type of people we want to bring onto our team.
Great, that's awesome. So with you bringing on a lot of internships and opportunities like that, do you have any recommendations on maybe how to stand out in that process? I know you mentioned being scrappy and whatnot.
Yeah, what really stands out to me when I get on a phone call with a candidate is someone who not only did their research, but just starts off the conversation asking really thoughtful questions. So that really shows me that you're not just putting your ring in the hat, like you're not just putting your resume out there at every company. Like, you really did your research on GoSite. You align with our mission. So you're asking those thoughtful questions, you know, about our business and kind of where we've been and where we're growing into. So that stands out to me as just someone who's done their research, really aligns with our mission, and can talk to me, you know, just casually about, you know, where we're headed and their excitement for GoSite.
That's awesome. So it sounds like passion and determination, but also just character and personality is really important as well. So, and also you mentioned too that your engineering team grew exponentially this year. Do you think that that team embodies some of the characteristics you were explaining, or is there anything that really made them unique that brought them onto the GoSite team?
Yeah, so it's been crazy to see the growth on the engineering side, and I only have just started to get to partner with the team. But one thing I noticed right off the bat after being able to partner with them and meet with them and really learn about that side of the business is that they're just all so humble, so kind, and they're growing so fast, but they really do still seem like a really tight-knit team. So I'm just really excited to see that growth continue and just how many more engineers we're bringing on and how they impact the business.
All right, awesome. That's great to hear. And heading back to internships, how many interns are you looking to hire, and how long are the interviews taking place, just so students are aware?
Yeah, great question. So it is going to be a little bit smaller this time around just because it's our first one. We really want to do it right. So we're planning on bringing in about 4 this summer and partnering them up, as I said, so they can kind of have each other to support. But we do want to grow this program and, you know, be able to bring on more. So interviews are starting now. You know, as I mentioned, we're targeting that June 1st start date and June 14th. And then so hopefully, you know, we can wrap up interviews here within like the next 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, awesome. Well, it's great to hear. I mean, thank you for answering all my questions, Arman, Kara, and Victoria. I really appreciate your time and your insight about all of these different areas that we were able to touch on. So I wanted to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to educate the audience about GoSite, your initiatives at the company, the awesome company culture you have, and your amazing internship program. So I encourage all students to apply and jump on this amazing opportunity. And to learn more about GoSite or contact Kara, Arman, or Victoria, we will be linking all of their information in the bio of this video. And thank you again for everyone to participate and coming together for this event. So have a great night, everyone, and stay safe.